Lately, I've been doing a lot of Smith machine squats, and I like that because from a hypertrophy standpoint, you can push it a little closer to failure without feeling that same sense of risk.
The key benefits for Smith machine generally means less need for stabilization, and you can focus more on the targeted muscle. Especially for hypertrophy, it allows you to train harder, safer, and potentially get more volume in.
We're gonna have quads and glutes taken care of with this one, okay? But hamstrings will not be taken care of at all.
Exactly that. The Smith machine squats are great for targeting both the quads and the glutes with that added stability. But yeah, if you're trying to target the hamstrings, you're going to need something like an RDL or a leg curl to balance things out.
Those three heads get stretched here, and then they contract as you come up, as you would in an RDL. But there's one head that doesn't cross the hip joint, so how could it possibly get worked from RDL? It can't. But all four heads cross the knee joint. So if you do a leg curl, you will hit all four heads of the hamstrings.
So this is such a great point. The RDLs is an amazing exercise for targeting the hamstrings, but they mainly hit the three heads that cross both the hip and knee. So the fourth head, which is the short head, only crosses the knee. So you need that leg curl to hit it. So that's why combining both the movements give you that full hamstring development. If you found this video beneficial so far, smash the like button.
When we sit down, the hamstring is already pre-stretched at the beginning of the range of motion. Right. Whereas when you lie down, the hamstring is not stretched at all.
If you're looking to hit your hamstrings from both angles, switching between seated and lying leg curl is great to hit all parts of the muscle. The seated curl focuses on that deeper stretch, while the lying leg curl gives you a more mid-range contraction.
Come forward a bit more. Do you feel more stretched?
Oh yeah.
And do you still feel secure?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So it's better to lean forward.
It is, as long as you don't find it feels awkward and you can't overload it as well.
I've tried this too. Sometimes adjusting your seat can make a massive difference of how much of a stretch you're getting. But of course, if it feels uncomfortable or unstable, it's not worth the risk. So listen to your body.
People think of the incline press as just an upper pec exercise, and it's like, oh no, what's gonna happen to my mid and lower pecs?
Yeah.
That is completely blown out of proportion. There was a recent study that compared flat bench to incline bench. For the lower pecs, same growth. For the mid pecs, same growth. For the upper pecs, better growth with incline.
So a common worry that I tend to hear from a lot of people is that by doing the incline chest press neglects your lower and your mid pec. But as Jeff points out, the growth for the lower and mid pecs is pretty much the same whether you're doing incline or flat. The key takeaway here is if you're focusing on your overall chest development, both movements are important. So don't skip out on your incline chest presses because you're worried about neglecting your lower chest. Incline presses are going to hit that upper chest hard and your overall chest will still develop.
In terms of incline on the bench, is it like a 45 degree?
Yeah, I think the 45 gives you a pretty good combination of like upper pec and deltoid.
When it comes to the angle of the incline, Jeff recommends 45 degrees, and honestly that is the sweet spot. It gives you a great balance of targeting the upper chest and activating those front delts. Going too steep and you lean more into your shoulders. Too shallow and it's just like a flat bench press.
The reason this is so far ahead is like I try to get like really deep on the stretch here. Ooh, you see how that popped up like that?
Holy shit.
You'll find that the cable is always trying to pull you back. So you're always having to play this balancing act a little bit. And so it disperses a little bit of the tension. So you can direct all the tension into your pecs.
Oh, that feels good.
Yeah.
I've definitely felt the balancing act with the cables. When you're pulling against that tension, it's way easier to keep your focus on the pecs rather than letting the weight swing around. It really forces you to stay controlled, and when you're done, you can really feel the difference in your chest.
I think it's one of the rare muscles where you really do want two types of exercises. One is a vertical pull and one is a horizontal pull.
So these two movements can really help you target different parts of the back, especially depending how wide your grip is.
I like a chest supported row.
I do too.
Because you're very stable, everything is locked in, and so you can direct all that tension directly to your back. You want to think about like rounding this out, so like allowing your shoulder blades to pull apart and then squeeze them together as you come up.
So chest supported rows are an amazing exercise because they give you that stability to really focus on isolating your back muscles. When you're stable like that, you could really control the movement better and you could direct all the tension to your back. Plus, the motion Jeff describes about rounding your shoulders forward and then squeezing them together helps you fully activate those back muscles.
We can do pull down or pull up. What do you prefer? I'll let you run this one.
I think I prefer pull down.
What about you guys? Do you prefer the pull-ups or the pull downs? I'd love to know. Let me know in the comment section which exercise you prefer.
All right, so you have all the grips in the world at the gym.
Yes.
Which one do you pick?
So if I do a wider grip, overhand grip like we did on the row, I'll do a neutral closer grip for the pull downs.
So Jeff makes a smart point here, and it's always something I always take into consideration. When you're doing your pulling movements, it's always a good idea to switch up your grips. So if you go wider and overhand on rows, try a close or neutral grip for the pull downs. This variation helps you hit your muscles from different angles and keeps your joints and tendons from getting overworked with the same patterns every time.
One thing I've been doing lately is actually raising the height of the cable. The cable will apply most resistance to your side delt when there's a 90-degree angle between the cable and your arm. That's a pretty shortened position. My shoulder isn't stretched.
Yeah.
Okay? Now watch what happens when I raise it up. Tell me when I get to a 90-degree angle.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah.
So the delts respond well to tension in a lengthened or a mid-range position, and Jeff's setup really helps optimize that. Instead of just flinging the weight around, this version of the cabled lateral raise actually puts the most tension where the muscle is the strongest, and that could really lead to better muscle growth.
The rear delts got worked pretty hard on that row.
Okay.
Okay, so if you wanted to get really minimal, you could just axe this.
So what Jeff is saying here, if you're tight for time or you really want to keep your training to a minimal, you could skip a rear delt focused exercise.
But I think rear delts are really important for a physique, and they're a muscle that a lot of new lifters tend to neglect.
A lot of people do tend to focus on their front delts and chest from their pushing movements, but training rear delts is key for shoulder health, posture, and creating that balanced look.
Reverse pec deck, the standard way you do this, you sit, face the machine, and you sweep the weight out.
Yeah.
But I think there's a better way to do it. If you were going to stretch your rear delt, would you hold your arm here, or would you hold it here?
Here.
Here, right?
Yeah.
But on this machine, you actually don't get past this position unless you do this and turn side on.
Oh.
So now you get a pre-stretch on your rear delt and you sweep the weight out like this. You actually get that deep stretch aspect of the range of motion.
If you've used a reverse pec deck before, next time try this technique. Instead of having your chest supported on this pad, flip your body 90 degrees and really feel that deep stretch. I'd love to know how it changes the way you feel this exercise.
I call these Bayesian cable curls, same as the lateral raises. My bicep will experience peak tension when there's a 90-degree angle between my forearm and the cable. So the bicep is pretty short here.
Yeah.
Whereas, if I raise it up to hand height, tell me where the 90-degree angle happens.
Yeah. There.
It's
right
way
there.
earlier.
Wow, yeah.
So you get more tension in the stretch position.
Okay.
So this technique focuses on getting more tension in the stretch position of the curl, which is huge for bicep growth. When you raise the cable to hand height, the 90-degree angle comes earlier in the movement, meaning you get a greater muscle activation through the range, particularly in the lengthened part of the curl.
The long head is the only head that crosses both the elbow joint and the shoulder joint. So it's the only one that's really impacted by shoulder position.
So the long head of the tricep is unique because it's the only part of the tricep that crosses both your elbow and your shoulder joints. So this means your shoulder plays a huge role in how your long head is activated during a tricep exercise. So if you want to target it more effectively, adjusting your shoulder position can really make a difference.
The long head is not contracted at all, but if you bring your arm down, you'll feel it get way harder, even though you didn't do anything different at your elbow.
This is a great example how the smallest of details can make a big difference. So when you bring your arm down in certain exercises like overhead tricep extension or skull crushers, it forces the long head to contract harder, even though the elbow isn't doing much. So it's about optimizing your form to activate the muscle more effectively.
So if we want a stretch, we're gonna achieve that by putting the arm up overhead.
Okay.
Jeff is really emphasizing how to get a deeper stretch on the long head of the tricep by putting his arms over his head. So when your arm is elevated, the long head of the tricep is stretched more, which is why the overhead tricep extensions are so effective for fully activating this part of the muscle.
Back,
Yeah.
so that I can get my arm behind my torso. Because if you think about it, this is biomechanically exactly the same thing as this.
Oh, really? Oh,
Except
okay.
you do this.
So what Jeff is really highlighting here is that a key to a good tricep kickback isn't necessarily about the torso angle, but about the movement at the elbow. Whether you're bent over or standing, as long as you fully focus on bending the elbow and squeezing at the top, you're going to hit those triceps effectively. So each exercise for each muscle group is now on screen. Let me know below in the comment section if you will swap any out. And also let me know in the comment section if you agree with them. If you found this video useful, smash the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and watch his next video.